Hello, hi, welcome back to my channel. It's Anna. So as you guys can probably tell by the title and thumbnail, yes, we are jumping on a bandwagon. We are doing as every other TikTok girl is doing, and we are crocheting that one Harry Styles sweater that one girl started the trend of. The sweater, if you don't know what it is basically just a bunch of crocheted squares sewn together with some cuffs, like those, you know, the cinchy cuffs and the cinchy whatever, and some buttons, and that's the sweater. So this one girl on TikTok, I will link her down below, as well as I will show you some of the videos somewhere on the screen. She crocheted the sweater, and then she, oh so generously, like the angel she is, explained how she did it, so then the rest of us had a bit of a guideline to follow, which is exactly what I'm following for this video. I'm gonna do some of my own creative liberties as I see fit, just to make the sweater a little bit more personalized to myself, and I will be explaining the entire process for you in this video. So I will show you guys how I crochet my squares. We are going to sew it together. We are going to sew it together and make the cuffs and sew on the buttons, and we're gonna make a sweater together today. So I can twin with Harry Styles, so you can twin with Harry Styles, so we can all twin with Harry Styles. Let's twin with Harry Styles, shall we? So I am following Irritation's pattern in the beginning of this video. So she has 2 side panels, 1 back panel, and 2 arm panels as I show here. These are the colors that I use, and the squares are made up by chains by rows. So the side and the back are 20 chain by 20 row squares, and then the arm consists of 20 by 20s, 19 by 20s, and 18 by 20s, and then I have a total of 39 squares to begin with, and I'm using a size 8 hook and medium yarn. As you can see here, I'm watching Little Simsy, Queen. So here's my pile of 20 by 20s, my 19 by 20s, my 18 by 20s. So I just started green. I finished yellow and red of all the colors, but I'm on to green now. I will now show you guys how I do a 20 by 20 square, and then it's going to be the exact same for 19 and 18. It's just one less chain while making it. So I'm going to start by creating a slip knot, and when you are chaining from your slip knot, know that your slip knot does not count as one chain. So after you create your slip knot and you do one chain, you only have one chain. It is not 2, it is just 1. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do 21 chains for a 20 by 20 square, and the reason I do this is because when I start single crocheting, I'm going to skip 1 chain to start the single crochet, which means that I will have 20 single crochets. I found that if I did 20 chains and then tried to single crochet, I just had 19. So when you're doing your squares, it is 21 for a 20 by 20, 20 chains for a 19 by 20, and 19 chains for an 18 by 20. And so I'm just going to go and I'm going to single crochet into all of my chains to create that first row. So now here I have finished my first row of single crochets. So in order to start the next row, I chain 1, and then I'm going to turn my piece around, and then I'm going to start single crocheting back into that first chain. So whenever you start a new row, chain 1, turn your piece, and then start single crocheting into the first hole. So here we are at the end of doing my last row of single crochets. So now as you approach the end, once you do your last single crochet, what I would do is I would go and make sure my loop is big so it didn't pull through and start unraveling, and I measured the size of my patch with another one that I've already done, just to ensure that they're the same size in case I miscounted. And once I am sure that they are the same size, I go and I make that loop a little bit smaller, and I cut it and just pull through as if I was finishing the chain, and then I'm going to take that end piece and weave it through the rest of the piece so that it's secured properly. Okay, so we now have 2 greens done, all the yellows, all the reds. I'm gonna finish up green, all the rest of the colors, because I think you guys get the point. You don't need to see me do every color. And I will come back when we have everything crocheted, and we will then start sewing together the sweater. But my goal is to finish. It is currently Sunday. It's currently Saturday. It is currently Saturday. This video is going up Thursday. I have yet to edit anything. My birthday is Wednesday, so I don't really feel like filming or editing. So the goal is to hopefully have this done by Tuesday. So hopefully I will have all of my colors crocheted by Monday morning. I've been crocheting for days. If I was wearing this shirt the other day when I was filming, I'm sorry. If I look the exact same, know that it is now Tuesday. I did not finish by Monday morning. It is in fact Tuesday morning. For the past 4 days, I've literally been crocheting nonstop all day. I think I thought I'd move faster, but I didn't. I had to end up making more squares because in the original video I watched, she used larger yarn and a larger crochet hook, and everything for mine was smaller, which means my sweater was gonna be smaller. So I ended up having to do more. We are going to start sewing the squares together. Let me show you. So here's what I have. We have 6 of each of these colors because they're the 20 by 20s. These are the 18 by 20s, so we have 1 of each. And then these are the 19 by 20s, and we have 1 of each with the exclusion of this one because this pattern can only be done in even numbers, so I did an extra yellow. But this is what we have, and now we're gonna start sewing them all together. All right, so this is the layout of the back. We're gonna start here, and we're gonna work our way up, and we're gonna start sewing them all together. I'm so excited. Crocheting for like 10 hours a day has been worth it. That's gonna be so good. Okay, so here is where I start sewing them together. And as you can see, those loose ends that I talked about in the first clip of me showing you guys how to make the squares, some of them I didn't end up crocheting into the square, so I am sewing it in as I'm sewing the patches together, and I'm just using whatever color of, you know, whichever patch I decide, and then I am using a yarn needle and I am sewing them together, and I'm going all the way down and around the side, and I do that for every single one, and it's honestly really easy. If you survived the crocheting all the squares part, this is a literal walk in the park. Right, we have finished the back. Ladies and gentlemen, we have finished the back. So now I'm going to add the sides with like the holes for the sleeves, and then I'll make the sleeves, and then we'll attach the sleeves, and then we'll have a sweater, but then we're still not done. But it is 3 o'clock, and I'm gonna be up till midnight because tomorrow's my birthday. Subscribe for a birthday gift to me? Question mark? Hypothetically, I can work till 12. So we're gonna sew on the arms and the sides and the cuffs and the buttons, and we're gonna have a sweater, and it's gonna be really cute, and I'm excited. We have a sweater. Good morning. It's a couple days later. I really wanted to finish the video to post today, but it didn't end up happening, and I want to make sure it looks really good, so I'm gonna keep going. But I finished sewing all of these together, but I followed the pattern that I kind of sketched out, and like I've said, everything's going to be shown to you at the end. I will have everything laid out for you for anyone who wants to also create one of these. But I did a big panel for the back and sewed all those together, and then I did the 2 side panels, and then I did the arms, and then down this is just one big seam that I did for the arm, sewing it all together. And as you can see, I kind of missed lining them up perfectly, but I don't mind. I think it looks kind of cool, so I'm not like upset about it. That is what I have done so far. I have not done the ribbing down the side or the back, the sleeves, the bottom, none of that. I've done none of the ribbing yet, so that is the next part of the project, and then I will sew on the buttons and then we're done. But I'm going to decide if I want to keep this last row of patches because the sleeves are longer than I anticipated. So once I do the ribbing around, I'm going to decide if I want to take off this last row of squares. So I'm going to go do that, and I will show you guys the process, and then we will decide if we want to make the sleeve shorter, and then we will have a Harry Styles sweater. And I'm very, very excited because I've been working very hard on this, and I hope you guys will end up making this alongside me. It actually has been really, really fun. And it's been challenging, but it's like very rewarding because it's so exciting to see something that you've worked so hard on doing come to life, and you get to wear it and you match Harry Styles. Say less. So let's go add some ribbing. So I added the cuffs on the sleeves. Did I say I was gonna do the cuffs last? Yes, I did. Did I forget I said that and I did them first so I couldn't make them shorter if I wanted to? Also yes. That's okay because it worked out. I think it looks really cute. It's just a cute like little bell sleeve. I decided to make mine a little more form-fitting than the one Harry has in his, just because I like this more. Now I'm gonna go and I'm gonna add, I need to add the cuffs on the bottom, the ribbing on the bottom, and then tomorrow I'm gonna get blue because I don't have blue that I like. But tomorrow I'm gonna get blue and we're gonna do it down here, and then we're gonna add the buttons, and then we're done. Well, first of all, we're in a new location. Isn't that exciting? After many days, after a lot of hard work, it is finished. Here is the finished product. I am so unbelievably happy with how it came out. It took a lot of hard work and some trial and error, and I made a couple mistakes along the way, but I mean, I think that's what's gonna happen with anyone who makes something for the first time. As I've mentioned, I used the kind of rough pattern that a girl on TikTok provided. I will have her link down below. I also showed her video in the beginning of this video, but now I am going to go through and I'm going to talk to you guys about what I did to make my sweater because it is a little bit different from hers. I did end up using her as reference, but not completely following her video exactly. So I used a total of 48 squares in 6 different colors. Those colors being red, black, green, yellow, orange, and a combination of black and red. With a total of 48 squares, 36 of those squares were 20 by 20 squares, meaning 20 chains across the bottom in length, and I made 20 rows going up in the height. I then did 6 19 by 20 squares and 6 18 by 20 squares. I do want to mention though that the red and black squares end up being only 13 rows tall, just because the way that it's crocheted ended up not needing to be the full 20. This might vary for different people based on the hook size you use and the yarn you use. After I crocheted the 48 squares, all of which, excluding the red and black squares, the red and black squares were a different type of square, and I will put the name of it up on the screen because I don't remember it, but every other color, the red, black, green, yellow, and orange, just the single color squares were all single crochets. All of the videos that I used to learn how to crochet, how to do different things, I will link them all down below because I didn't go into detail about that in this video. In order to sew the squares together, which is what I did after I crocheted all of them, I used a yarn needle and a certain color yarn depending on which squares I was sewing together, and I sewed them together in this pattern. For the back panel, I used all 20 by 20 squares, and I had 3 going across the top and 4 going down, which is a total of 12 squares on the back. For the sides, or the area where you will have the armholes, I did 6 squares, all 20 by 20, 2 on the side, and then 4 going up, and then you crochet the side of 2 to the back side like I show you in this image on the screen. And then for the sleeve, I used a total of 12 squares. The top 2 rows were 20 by 20, the third row was 19 by 20 squares, and the last row was 18 by 20 squares, and this kind of creates a tapered effect. And then once I sewed all of the squares together, I then wrapped it around and sewed up to create the circle for a sleeve, and then I sewed the sleeve onto the back and arm piece. After I did all of that, I went on and I did the cuffs on the wrist and the ribbing. So I decided for all of it to use chain ribbing. On the sleeve cuffs, I made them 5 chains long, and I chose to have these sleeves fit my wrist, which kind of creates like a puffy sleeve effect. But obviously in Harry's, his is just wide. It's like almost like a bell sleeve. So if that's the style you want to go for, more power to you. This is the style I went for because it's something I would get the most wear out of. So that's why I chose to do it. For the bottom ribbing, I did it 8 chains in width. Once again, doing chain ribbing. And the sides and the collar, which is the blue going up and around the jacket, I did it 6 chains in width, chain ribbing once again. So lastly, after all this was done, I was super happy with the way it looked, and I decided I didn't want to add the buttons going down the side. If you want to add buttons on yours, go ahead. Harry had buttons on his. I didn't want to, but if you want to add buttons on yours, do it. And so once all of this was done, I had some loose pieces left from like sewing. You'll have longer pieces left after crocheting and sewing and stuff, and I just went and wove those back into the squares or the sewing and stuff. I think that covers everything. Obviously, I think the most important thing is if you want to change anything about this, do it. You should make a sweater, you should make a product that you're going to want to wear and that makes you excited to wear. I loved the colors in the original and I liked the look for the most part of the original, but like I've mentioned, I made a few edits to make it something that'll fit me a little better, fit my style a little better. But if you don't like any of the colors, don't add them. If you don't like certain things about the sweater, change it. If you want to make it just like Harry wears it, do it. If you want to make it completely different and just use this video or this kind of pattern thing as like an inspiration, do it. Do whatever is going to make you the happiest and makes you a product that you will genuinely want to wear all the time, because that is the most important part. I think that is everything. This was the hardest project I think I've ever done, ever, in my whole life. I cried only once though, and I consider that a win. If you have any questions, please leave them down below and I will do the best I can to answer them. I'm not a crocheting expert, but I will try the best I can to answer the questions that you guys have. I will also link all of the resources I used down below, including the yarn, my hook, the videos I watched, the original TikToker that started this trend that I saw, and yeah. Make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, like and subscribe for some more good vibes, and turn on the post notification bell. I post new videos every single Thursday at 3 p.m. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch it. And if there's anything else you want to see me crochet, leave it down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week with a brand new video. Bye guys!